Hello guys, welcome back to SSA Athletics, and today we're going to be talking about day 2 and 3 of the track and field athletics at Tokyo 2021 Olympics. I'm Adam McCarthy and I'm joined by the flavour commentator Brian. So if you could smash subscribe, really helps the channel out. Check out both Facebook pages and the website, and that will be brilliant. Check it out in the comments section below. Okay, so mainly another day of mainly qualification. We had qualification through of the 400 metre hurdles, and we also had some interesting finals, including the mixed relay, the 100 metre semi-finals for women, and the final upset, spoiler alert, and we also had the men's discus final. Going on to the 400 metre hurdles final. So in the 400 metre hurdles, we had one faller. It's quite spectacular. The British girl over the first hurdle, or so you can say she didn't go over the first hurdle, she kind of took up underneath the hurdle. Generally, as you're coming off the blocks into the first hurdle, you got your head down. For most of people, they come up with roughly probably about 3, 4, maybe 5 strides away from the hurdle, and then you up and you tack over the hurdle, bring that leg round quickly through. Now, in order to do that, you have to take a certain distance away. If you go too close, you have to go higher to go over, and that can cause you to crash back down again. She just simply took off underneath the hurdle, clipped the hurdle, and basically went through the hurdle. If you're that close, you can't do that, and that's what I think she went wrong. She tried to take off too close to the hurdle. But likewise, when we look at all the rest of the hurdle races, no real surprise, all the favourites went through. McLaughlin, Delilah Muhammad and Femke Bol all made it through easily, and they all shut down roughly, McLaughlin shut down after she went off the last hurdle. Femke Bol took it a little bit easier on the home straight, although she did speed into the hurdles, which you have to do on the 400 metre hurdles, and so did Delilah Muhammad. The mixed relays, that's an interesting one because Team USA shouldn't have been there because they were disqualified.
What are you talking about? We were never disqualified.
You know it, we shown the video.
Yeah, we were reinstated, therefore we weren't disqualified.
The woman started beyond the blue line for the changeover. How can they be reinstated?
You play to the referee's whistle.
But they were disqualified.
In any sport, you play to the referee's whistle. Or in this case, the selectors, starters and umpires. The track officials. You play to what the track officials had to say. The track officials said that USA were never disqualified because the USA cannot be disqualified, mainly because we're too cool and so grey. Anyway, but we were never disqualified because the girl wasn't even told to go into the right place. So what if they're international athletes? You're not told to go in the right place, you can't be disqualified. Anyway, we were back in that race. We were allowed back in that race. We deserved to be in that race, put in the fastest time. And we came out and we got bronze. Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm lost where I am now. Anyway, mixed relay finals, Poland did really well. We had it was competitive. On the last lap, Poland pushed through, managed to get through a number of bodies. They did really well actually, their last leg runner. Pushed through traffic on the final lap and got the victory in that regards. USA were third, even though they shouldn't have been in there. Right, so the semi-finals of the women's 100 metres. Interestingly enough, favourites, Dina Asher-Smith, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. We didn't even know that Dina Asher-Smith was carrying an injury. Up until her race, she didn't qualify, and it was confusing at first. She got beaten by Del Ponte. She came 4th in her race, didn't qualify as a fastest loser. She got out well, could get that speed, but she couldn't maintain that speed throughout the whole of the 100. And it kind of showed her fitness up to that point. When you're injured, you don't train and you get muscle wasted to a certain extent, certain point. It could also be the fact that, as she stated on herself, she has a quite severe muscle tear, meaning she's able to put power through it, but not for very long and not for over a certain distance. Overstretch it and she probably tears it a little bit more. Push too much power through it, definitely tears it a lot more. But likewise, she's seeing some medical professionals in Germany who apparently are the best. They've seen Usain Bolt over a different injury and also a hamstring tear before. So yeah, they're the best in the business. So we'll find out a lot more in a later time. She kept this a secret, and this is quite interesting. I don't know why, and there could be an argument to suggest Why keep it a secret? Give that opportunity to someone else. Yeah, I get your point, Brian. But if she's not fit enough to compete, give that opportunity to someone else who does deserve it and can compete, who is fit. Yeah, I get the point. She is the 200 metre world champion, and strange things do happen. Yeah, I get the point that if you're not there, you can't win. But at the same time, Brian, if she's not going to compete to win, if she's not going to compete in the 200, what's the point being there? She's clearly not fit enough. It's sad and depressing to say that to pull out the Olympics, but maybe her best opportunities next year at the World Championships. Anyway, what was interesting, and you can see she's definitely been media trained, the way she stood up to the camera, the way she started talking, parts of her personality came out, but that kind of cold, always try and stay positive motion was kind of eked out by her very emotions. And that was brilliant. We kind of saw her human side. And we need to see more of the athlete's human side. We can relate to it more. We can relate to their emotional struggle, because let's face it, not many people can relate to these elite athletes, the way they live their lives. The sacrifices they make in order to try and become the best in the world. At the same time, it was sad in a way, sad and depressing, and it's sad to see an athlete go through that, and especially myself, who's gone through some severe injuries and felt pressures and that kind of thing to perform, although not really up at her standards, where I had to be very much lower than that. I could kind of relate to that personally. Anyway, so the victory royale. We had Elaine Thompson came first in it. She ran a good race. And second to her was Shaquille Jackson. And third to her was Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Surprising enough, Elaine Thompson was surprising because she hasn't done those performances to demonstrate that she could win it. Yes, she would have been a medal contender. But really, if you had to pin on it based upon the performances that year, yes, we didn't see much of Dina Asher-Smith, but the performances she did do, although she tore a muscle at Gateshead, which we find out later, and we find out about her injury, her secret injury, we would have put it on between the medals between Tarlau, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and Dina Asher-Smith. Instead, we got a surprise Jamaican 1-2-3, with Elaine Thompson being the winner. Shaquille Jackson, she's done quite well this year actually, so she probably had an outside chance of medal, gets the silver, and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce with the bronze. So that one is surprising, but then most of this Olympics has been surprising as well. You get those who are fit, those trying to get to fitness, and those who are fit enough. If you're not fit by the time of the Olympics, you're not going to get fit anytime soon, because this is the big boy. And you can tell that it's not just about getting fit for the Olympics and being fit for the Olympics. It's about being fit for being able to go through the rounds, being able to run through the rounds and get ready to the final. And with many of them, they simply weren't fit enough potentially. We saw that with probably the Dominican Republic girl in lane 1. Okay, she got up, she kept her form really early, but then her speed just died down. And we saw the others kind of overtake her from that point, from that rapid start she did make. Del Ponte and Kambunji to get to the final, really surprising. But they've really stepped up, especially Del Ponte, to get into that. She's one of the fastest indoors, and certainly one of the fastest now in Europe. But no one suspected that she would actually reach the final, Del Ponte. Kambunji, more of a 200 metre runner, but she's done exceedingly well to get there. Both the Swiss athletes have. But I kind of got distracted from what I'm saying. If you're not fit, you can't make it through the rounds, and it shows. And in this particular situation with the pandemics and that kind of thing, it shows who's fit. This Olympics is showing who is fit and who isn't fit to perform at that. Well, I should say to perform at the super elite level that you need. This super fitness. Okay, so moving on to the discus. Star wins. No surprise there. Daniel Stahl has been the best so far this summer, really. He has eked out a few 71 metres, although didn't manage to do over 70 metres. Didn't manage to do that in this championships. But he's been dominant all season and gets a thoroughly deserved gold medal. What was surprising is that Czech did not make it into the top 3. I know, Czech didn't make it into the top 3. Pedersen had a surprise second, the Swede, although he has been solid throughout the all summer so far. Yes, he did come second in Stockholm, but nothing to suggest really this performance. Also, four people have thrown over 67 metres, so I think it will only be a matter of time when we start. You have to throw over 70 metres in order to be even considered into the chance of a medal. But at the moment, that will get you clearly from this a gold, silver and bronze medal. You have to throw over 70 metres consistently in the future to stand a chance of winning. Maybe not for this next World Championships, maybe for the Olympics after, because the event is improving. One thing I would have to add is that Czech is still quite young. Still relatively young in terms of discus throwing. So he has got time, and he's got time to potentially win this in the future. He's still got time to get those performances. Stahl he's getting on a bit. He will eventually retire. So on to Sunday's day 4 of the action, and we're going to start off with the men's 100 metre final. Quite interestingly, no Tyrone Bromnell, consistently the fastest under that 9.7 seconds. However, he wasn't there in the final that day. Yeah, exactly. You have to be, whoever is fastest on the day will win that. And it doesn't matter if you're fastest all year round, doesn't even matter if you're fastest in the minor meets. It's what happens on the big day, the big O, the big one that matters most. So what we have here is Zano Hughes in the final himself, got through. We had Su Bing Tan also got through, and lots of these guys like Jacobs, every single one of them had a chance to win it. This was in the shadow of Usain Bolt, the great Usain Bolt himself. Yes, we're not expecting super fast times like Usain Bolt. Instead, we're probably looking around at 9.7s you would expect to win it. Instead, in the end, it was one with a 9.8. No, Tyrone Bromnell didn't really show up, truth be told. So what we had instead. So Zano Hughes, poor excuse. Quite frankly, well, he got himself DQ'd. As a British guy, that's so frustrating. And it's like what you said earlier, you gotta play to that whistle. You gotta play to the whistle. Or in this case, the starter's commands. Yeah, there's totally no excuse for this. Yeah, some guys come out there and they want to preempt that start and have to get that super rapid, damn fast start. But sometimes it just doesn't play off. You're playing a risk there. You're risking it all for a chocolate biscuit. I have no idea what he was doing. I agree, it's like he had a rush of blood to the head. And I've been in that position before where I've just gone really nervous. And then just gone off and got myself DQ'd, although that was in a bucks and not in Olympics, mind you. But this is the Olympic final, and you are an elite professional. Yes, it happens to him, I suppose. Sometimes these athletes like to preempt the start, and in my opinion, maybe that's what Zano Hughes was trying to do. He was trying to preempt the start, trying to get that super quick start out, fast, swift, and he effectively cheated. But you can't allow yourself to do that. That is just so poor, so amateur. And as you saw from the interview himself, he knew it. He threw that goal. He threw that medal away. Our producer Gary has presented us with this chart. And on this chart, we can see Zano Hughes' reaction and what it means. So, what was his excuse? He said he had cramp. I'm not sure. You can always stick your hand up in the air and say, hey, I'm not ready, and what's the worst thing happen? They make everyone stand up and you get a yellow card. Or they just tell you, I've had starters just go off anyway, but this is the Olympic Games, these are the best starters in the world, so they're unlikely to do that. But I have no idea, I just don't think he was thinking at all. Anyway, moving on, Su Bing Tan, because of that, maybe because he didn't want to get DQ'd, kept a little bit left in the blocks and really got left behind. Such a slow start. And that was unlike him. Even the indoor specialist, alongside Marcel Jacobs, Su Bingtan. We was expecting a quick start because we saw that quick start in the semi-finals, but never materialised in this time round. De Grasse, not really in the race up until the final moments. If it was another 30-50 metres, maybe he'd won it. He kind of reached his top end speed later on. He wasn't as fast as Marcel Jacobs, but he was catching them, and in the end, he ran out of track. So, Jacobs had an outside chance of medal, the quickest one there. They did think he had a chance of medaling at the European Indoors, although that was a bit optimistic, shall I say. He had a surprise win there. He's the main European guy in this race, and he got out quick from the blocks. Jacobs reached top end speed quicker than everyone else, both alongside Curly as well. Curly and Jacobs got to the top end speed, the quickest out of the finalists, but Jacobs managed to maintain that for longer. He got up to the pop-up roughly the same time as Curly, but then pushed on slightly further as he reached his top end speed. It's been a weird old year. It's been a weird 2020. It's been a weird year leading into 2021. I don't think some of these athletes are half as fit as they want to be for a major competition. But bear in mind, this result will not stand. I'm taking it as a USA victory. Born in Texas, but Marcel Jacobs has lived most of his life in Italy. His mother is Italian. He represents Italy, not the United States of America. Jacobs is from Texas, therefore he's practically my homeboy next door. Give a bit. Give a bit of distance. But I'm taking this as a US victory. Gold for USA. Well, he's more Italian than anyone else. He's been there since he was, well, how old was he, like 3? I mean, he's got a fat-off Italian accent. What more could you want? He is Italian by representation and Italian by the culture. I mean, look at him. He's Italian. Well, he's representing Italy politically. No, he's representing Italy. So therefore, he's Italian. Simples. Simple. That meerkat impression. Boy, never do that again. I never want to see you do that again. Boy, you used to be cool. We're sorry for... Out of all the finalists, we got to say sorry for the Nigerian athlete who pulled up with a hamstring. Unfortunately, it happened in the Olympic Games final, but these things happen, I'm afraid. Moving on to the shot put final. We have a girl even. Anyway, so shot put final, Gongling Zhao, 20.58 metres, only woman to throw over 20 metres. Very comfortable victory from her in the end. She was consistently the best one there on the day. We couldn't kind of guess who's going to win it. We weren't quite sure what the performances would be like leading in because of disruption to all the competitions, although we had some good Diamond League meets. Gong in the end was just the best on the day. No one got close to her. In the end, Gongling Zhao won it. Raven Saunders of the USA was second. And then Dame Valerie Adams, I never thought I'd be saying that name, formerly Valerie Veary, got to the final. And that must be really good for her. She's really past her best now, and it may be time for her to retire, if truth be told. She knows her body better, so she'll come up with something that's best for her. But I can only see her, she's not throwing near the 21 metres we've known her to throw in the past. And although the competition was a bit lower, a bit less, with the exception of what Gongling Li Jiao, I'm pronouncing her name completely wrong here. Everyone else was under that 21 metres, and in order to win it in the future, you're probably going to have to be up to 21 metres. We'll find out in the next World Championships, because this Olympics has been quite weird. Women's triple jump final, and the winner was, no surprise, Yulimar Rojas. In second place, Patricia Mamona, and in third place was Anna Pelletiori. And Yulia Rojas, she's been the best all season consistently, although you really have to turn up to these games, and she did. Her last jump though to break the world record was absolutely amazing. It was a perfect example of how not to do triple jump. and yet she still got the rewards, which was just mind-blowing to me personally. Like the massively long stride, short step, and then suddenly got the massive jump. It's just not consistent at all. She tripped over onto the ground with her spike, or the toe scrapped the ground. The stride off the board wasn't good, and I was literally going, oh no, oh dear, no worry. And then she pulled out this massive jump and got the world record. I'm like, nice for making me look silly. Anyway, so no surprise, she is the champion. Brian, do you have anything to add to that? I saw that roll house jump. I thought, damn it, a minute there, I thought I was going to be, damn, this girl's going to have a nice trip to Japan. But she managed to pull it out the bag and got a world record. And I was like, holy cow, how did you do that? Talking about a nice trip in Japan, did you see that Jamaican athlete? I hope it's only his pride that's wounded when he hit the deck. Yeah, I saw that, and I think possibly what may have happened with him on that 400-meter hurdle, he took off, he's hit it with his front foot. And as a result of hitting it with his front foot, it kind of throws you off as you bring your leg through. If you hit it with your front foot down upon the sole of the foot, then what happens is there is still a pretty good chance that you may land it and run off properly. It will still probably slow you down, but there is also a good chance that may happen. I know the 110-meter hurdle boys, they keep smashing hurdles for fun, but that's generally the case. If you hit it with your rear leg, it gets caught, it can throw you off balance, throw you down. If you notice with that athlete in particular, he struggled to fight to be able to keep on his feet. And I don't think he was able to manage it, and like you said, he hit the deck. So the schedule for tomorrow on the track, we have the 1500-meter heats, 200-meter heats and semis for the women, the men's 400-meter semis, and the women's 400-meter hurdles. In the field, we have the men's hammer throw, qualification, and for the finals, we have the men's long jump, women's 100 meters, women's discus throw, men's 3000 meter steeplechase, and the women's 5,000 meters. So when we got to talk about the chances of the athletes, I think personally for the 5,000 meters, you can't really put it across Sifan Hassan. For me personally, I think the British girl Laura Muir may have an outside chance, although highly doubtful. Yet again, we got to bear in mind that Olympic finals are historically slow and not generally that quick, because no one wants to basically ruin their chances of winning. Here we are with the official medal table. Italy are in first place with 2 gold medals. Jamaica, Sweden, the People's Republic of China, Ethiopia, Poland, Qatar, Venezuela all have 1 gold. Most of those nations will have 6 medals. United States of America, greatest nation in the world, has 2 silvers, 1 bronze, 3 medals in total. Gary, we said this before, man. You post a sticker +1. A +1 for Jacob Marcel's victory. Gary! It's +1. Thanks for that, Gary. You've been watching SSA Athletics. I hope you enjoyed this roundup of the day 3 and day 4 of the Tokyo Olympics track and field. If you want to smash subscribe, check out the socials and the website. Don't forget to check out the website. You will love the website. I'm Adam McCarthy. We're joined by a rather we leave with a rather muted Brian Bryans, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!